Welcome to This Week in Tiger Athletics. I'm your host, Haley White, and joining me today is Cailey Perkins, a sophomore forward from Manhattan. She scored 2 goals in the Tigers' 3-0 shutout of Missouri Southern Sunday at the FHSU Soccer Stadium. Her 4 goals this season are tied with Darby Hirsch for the team lead, and she has a team high of 13 shots on goal this year. The win Sunday moved the Tigers to 8-3-1 overall and 4-1-1 in MIAA play. Congratulations on the win Sunday against Missouri Southern. It had to be nice to get back on the field for a full game after Friday night's matchup was cut short due to the lightning.
Yeah, definitely. After that game, we were all kind of sad that the game had to be cut. We wanted to finish that game and try to get a win. So coming back on Sunday and being able to play a full game with a 3-0 or 3-0 lead, it was really good.
And you guys pelted the Missouri Southern keeper with several shots before he finally hit the back of the net in the 25th minute of the game. How good did that feel to break open scoring with your goal?
It felt great. That's kind of been our problem this season, is not getting enough shots, to not getting enough opportunities to score. So the fact that I was able to convert after so many shots on goal, it was a good feeling.
The team takes the 1-0 lead into halftime, but it doesn't take too long into the second half to get your second goal of the match. Talk about the corner kick from Darby Hirsch and how you were able to get the header to find the goal.
Darby is really good at putting the ball in a certain spot, so she was able to find my head right in the middle of the 6, and I just had to basically get my head on it, and it went in the back of the net.
And a 2-0 lead is usually pretty safe the way the team has been playing on defense. But Carly Pott makes it just 3-0 just a few minutes later. How nice is it to see Carly get her first goal of her career?
That goal is really important. With a 2-0 lead, the team might have a little hope still to win, but 3-0, you basically kill their hopes. But to see Carly score is really great. Her parents were there from California, which was amazing. She was able to do that in front of them, and I can tell that she really felt that she did a good job for our team in that moment.
And the win was big, moving you guys to 8-3-1 overall, and then 4-1-1 in MIAA. You have to be pleased where the team is headed so far this season.
Yes, I am. The fact that we've only lost 3 games is a big deal, and we sadly lost or tied 1. We could have converted that to a win, but I think we have done really well this season, and we just have to keep that going.
And you guys are kind of on a roll right now. You guys haven't lost since the end of September, and all but one of the remaining regular season games left are at home. Do you like this team's chance to compete for the regular season conference title?
Yeah, I do. I think we have a really good chance at winning the MIAA this season. We basically just need to finish the season, beat the people who we need to beat, and then give all we got against Central Missouri, and I think we have a good chance.
And let's talk a little bit about that match that was postponed only 28 minutes due to the lightning. How disappointing was that, given that Central Missouri is ranked number 5 in the country, and it's a team standing in your way to that possible MIAA crown?
Yeah, it kind of did suck, the fact that we were in the game, we were ready to play, we were ready to win, and then it just gets cut short, and we have to do it on probably a weekday when it gets remade.
Are you surprised the way that the team has been playing lately with some of your big wins that you're getting more national recognition now?
I'm not surprised. I didn't think we had it in us, but I'm really happy that we were able to pull through in the game like Central Oklahoma when we weren't supposed to win, but we did win, and we showed some people that might not think that we could have won that we have it in us.
One of the biggest reasons for the team's success is the ability for so many players to step up and take that leadership role. You've had 10 different players score goals this season. How key is it to having that depth and diversity on the team?
It's really key. Blake came into the season knowing that we only had 1 senior leave last year, so he knew we were going to have depth on our bench, and being able to rotate the bench in during big games where we might be more tired is very important.
On the defensive side of the ball, the team has only given up 2 goals in the last 5 games, and your goalkeepers have been solid. Talk about the defense and how well it's doing right now.
The defense is very important, and Blake has gone on and on about how strong defense wins games, and that has come into play during our season. We've had a little trouble scoring goals in the past games, but our defense is what keeps us in games, and it's what leads to our wins.
Your journey to FHSU had a little setback early in your high school career at Manhattan. How difficult was it to overcome that ACL injury that you suffered as a sophomore in high school?
It was really difficult. That was probably the hardest part of my soccer career. It took me a while to come back, about a little over a year until I could play a full game back, and it gave me a lot of motivation to get better and to get where everyone on my team was. But I think overall that was a really positive experience in the end because of how it shaped me into the player I am.
Does it make you appreciate every game you're able to play healthy?
Yeah, most definitely. I can't imagine if I were to get hurt again.
Do you think there was a chance to play collegiate soccer after that injury happened?
Well, actually, before I tore my ACL, I wasn't sure if I wanted to play college soccer, but after the injury, I realized just how much I missed the sport after not playing for a year. And I was like, dang, I don't think I could not play college soccer.
With hard work and determination, you're able to recover and become the school's record holder for the most points in a season with 43 goals and 37 assists. How were you able to become so dominant in high school?
I was really just putting my mind to it, and I also had so many people for those goals and for the people that I would assist that would just help me. My team was amazing, and I loved having them by my side to do that.
What was it like, when you started to get recruited by Fort Hays?
Well, I actually got recruited by the coach before Blake, so that was a little different when Blake came in, but I really liked Fort Hays as a school, and they have the nursing major that I want, and I was just really excited to visit schools and see where I could play in the future.
You jump right in as a freshman, and you start all 20 matches last year for Fort Hays, leading the team with 8 goals and 7 assists. Did you expect to have that much of an impact during your first year?
No, I definitely didn't expect that. I really didn't know what to expect when I came in. I didn't know if I would play or if I would not. I just came in wanting to prove myself and wanting to make an impact. So,
how did that experience last year improve your game this year as a sophomore?
I think a lot. Last year, I kind of would lack in the experience category, so this year, coming in, I have a lot more experience, and I think it helps in the big games.
Was there a point last year or this year that you realized that your team has good potential to do some good this year?
Yeah, I would say after last fall season, we kind of had what we're going on right now. We had a winning streak that kept going, and that's when we started to click as a team. And then in the spring, when we only lost one senior, I think we all realized that we could be something special.
Now that you have the potential to win, the regular season conference title, make the D2 playoffs, and have one of the best seasons in program history, how big would that be to continue to build on what Coach Reynolds has shaped this team into?
It would be huge. We have been trying to instill that culture of winning games and being that team that makes it to the national tournament. So if we were able to make it and show the schools around us and the people that want to play soccer in the future at a university that Fort Hays is a place that will make it to the national tournament every year, that is very important. That's what we want as our goal.
So besides that, what would be the picture-perfect ending to this year?
Making it to the national tournament. That's been our goal since last season, and I think if we make it to the national tournament, we could possibly make a run, or just, I think being in the national tournament will meet all of our goals, and we will all be very happy with that.
Well, thanks for joining me today, Cailey.
Thank you.
When we return, we will break down the rest of this week in athletics.
He often climbs to the 3rd floor of Rarick without taking a second breath. No matter when he submits his assignment to Blackboard, it is considered early, even if it is 5 days late. The line at Starbucks parts when he arrives. He considers the homecoming bonfire a small flame for s'mores. Every time he walks downtown, it's considered a march to Maine. His doodles on scrap paper are framed and hung in Rarick Hall. Once he parked in a 30-minute zone overnight, and the campus police left him a thank you note and a gift card.
I don't always party, but when I do, I register with SGA. Now party responsibly, my friends.
Welcome back to This Week in Tiger Athletics. Joining me now is FHSU SID Ryan Prickett, and he's going to help me break down the rest of this week. So Fort Hays football captured a thrilling win over Pittsburg State, surviving 42-41 at Carney Smith Stadium.
Yeah, that was a big weekend for Tiger football. Obviously, you know, after going 0-2 to start the year, I know the guys, you know, you've been over at weekly press conferences, you know that, you know, every week the goal is to go 1-0, and they know that this is a hard climb to try and get back into the picture for the NCAA playoffs. And most likely, you know, after the 0-2 start, you got to probably win all 9 from there on out. And so far, we've taken care of the first 5, and that was a huge one as far as like looking at the schedule and knowing who's in front of us right now. You know, that was one where it's like, well, that could make or break your season right there. And the guys persevered, got it done. It was a heck of a back and forth battle, really, too. And you know, it looked like, you know, we were in good shape, and then, you know, a key turnover early in the third quarter, and then all of a sudden they got the momentum back and they take the lead. And then Drew Harvey, really, I mean, you talk about a spark on the defensive side of the ball. Even though the defense gave up quite a few yards in that game, his couple of instances where he basically sparked our offense to get the lead back. He ripped the ball from the quarterback's hands on one play and set up our go-ahead scoring drive early in the fourth quarter, and then had an interception too and returned it deep down into the red zone so we could get another quick touchdown. And really that proved to be the game winner there. And we got really lucky that the Pittsburg State kicker, that's almost been automatic all year long, he's probably just as talented as Dante Brown, who we have, and you know, that was just one of those instances where game's on the line. You know, you gotta you know, overcome that pressure and all that kind of stuff, and he snapped it to the left a little bit, and so lucky for us, we survived. There still would have been a minute on the clock. I mean, who's to say that even if they make that field goal, we might go down and make one as well. So that last, you know, minute 30 could have played out differently too had he made that. But I mean, it's just one of those things that you take what you can get, and we're happy that we got out of there with the result we did. And you know, that's big to win 3 straight down in Pittsburgh too. Not a lot of teams can go into that building and do that. So that's a big feather in the cap for the program too, to see where we're at now, you know, as compared to the past years when Pittsburgh State just basically ran all over us for years. So.
And the Tigers will be back at home this coming weekend for the Hall of Fame game against Nebraska Kearney. Yeah,
and don't look now, but it's another humongous week. I think a lot of people might not realize how good Nebraska Kearney is right now. Guess what? They just upset Northwest Missouri last week. So, oh boy, here we go. And both teams are going to go into this game on Saturday 5-2. So it's another humongous game as far as, you know, trying to get somebody else behind us in the conference standings, or at least getting the head-to-head on them for potentially a playoff scenario at the end of the year, or even conference championship. Now that they've hung a loss on Northwest Missouri, Central Missouri is the only undefeated remaining. Central Missouri's still got some tough games in front of them yet, and so it's going to be interesting to see how this conference race plays itself out here in the final 4 weeks. But, you know, we're not out of the picture for still potentially winning a conference title. But I think the bigger goal right now is still, you know, let's stay focused on win each week, try to make the NCAA playoffs, and if the chips fall where they will at the end of the year, maybe we'll be hoisting another conference title. But this week is going to be huge and going forward to that. And the Nebraska-Kearney rivalry game is back. I know Nebraska-Kearney's been struggling for quite a few years in a row, trying to figure out how to be competitive in the MIAA in football. But I think they finally turned the corner. I think we even saw it in our game there last year where we had to go to, I think it was double overtime, but we had to go to overtime. Dante won the game on a field goal. Their field goal kicker fortunately missed in the overtime scenario where we won. But this game means something again now, and Kearney's going to be foaming at the mouth to come down here and prove that they belong in that upper echelon, and they're trying to fight to maybe potentially get to the playoffs. So huge battle on Saturday coming up.
It was Alonzo Rodriguez who scored a late goal, which secured men's soccer with a 1-0 win over Rogers State. But a devastating loss followed after the Tigers dropped their first conference match since the 2017 season, falling to Northeastern State 4-1.
Yeah, I'm quite happy that the guys at least went out there on the road and went 1-1. That is a tough road trip. Seeing those teams and their past success, Rogers State and Northeastern State, those are not easy places to win. Now, with that said, Northeastern State is probably having a little bit of a down season, and yeah, it was unfortunate that we took a loss there in Tahlequah, but it's traditionally been a tough place to play. So I was happy that the guys got the 1-0 result at Rogers 2 days before to at least have a win in their back pocket before coming back to Hayes. But yeah, it is a little bit frustrating that they lost that match 4-1 at Northeastern, and so now we're seeing ourselves in a little bit tighter scenario for the conference title race now. Harding is still sitting right behind us with just 2 losses in the conference, and they're really our main competition right now for the conference title. But yeah, I mean, you think about that, like what you said, 2017 is the last time we had lost a conference match. We went 17-0-1 over an 18-game span before finally losing another conference game. And so that's a huge testament to the guys and what they've accomplished out there on the field in the last few years. And so hats off to them. I know it's really hard to run the table in conference play year in, year out. And so it was great that we were undefeated up to that point. But now we really have to hone in our focus this week because the team I was just talking about right behind us in the standings is coming to Hayes this week.
Yes, Harding and Ouachita Baptist both at home.
Yeah, and to try and extend that long home win streak that we have too. Another thing that, another streak, I guess, per se, that we're trying to defend right now. But you get that match over Harding and then hopefully take care of business against Ouachita, we should be sitting in really good shape with a couple of weeks to play in the regular season. And hopefully, potentially, we might be hosting the conference tournament for men's soccer here in a few weeks if we take care of business here at home this week.
Volleyball went 0-2 this week on the road, falling to Missouri Southern and Pittsburgh State. Yeah,
it was another rough week for volleyball. Unfortunately, they're kind of in a little bit of a tailspin right now. They're just looking to try and get a win right now. They've kind of hit a losing streak right now that they just need to kind of get that taste out of their mouth finally. And but it was one of those weekends where you felt like those were matches that you were hoping to maybe at least get maybe one of those because of where the conference standings were sitting going into the week. Now, as it sits, I think we're in 9th place and top 8 make the conference tournament. So those teams were still sitting right behind them, Missouri Southern and Pittsburgh State, and we will get them at home here at the end of the regular season. So we do at least get another shot at them. But now it's going to force us to have to play, catch up to those teams in front of us in the conference standings. So hopefully a little bit of home cooking will be some good for us, coming forward. I know we've been on the road a lot this year, and we do have some key home matches coming up where we are going to be playing quite a bit at Gross Coliseum here over the next month. So.
Yes, we'll be playing Washburn at home and then followed by a Newman matchup in Wichita.
Yeah, exactly. We've got the big matchup against Washburn here tomorrow on Tuesday. It's breast cancer awareness match, so the teams encouraged everybody to wear pink to that match. I believe even the team has some jerseys that they're going to wear to honor that as well, so there will be some pink accents to the jerseys. But Washburn, that's a tough game, obviously. We lost over at their place, but they're number 4 in the nation right now. Their only bumps are basically to Nebraska Kearney, who is still undefeated as far as I know. I hadn't looked at the standings this morning. I didn't see how they did this weekend, but as of going into last weekend, they were still undefeated. So Washburn is, that's going to be a tough test here at home. You never know. I mean, that's why you play the match. I've seen us upset some top 10 teams here in the country, and the ladies would just get a little bit of confidence going for themselves again. I think they'll be in good shape. But yes, like you said, we got Newman on the road this weekend as well. Newman's a team that is struggling really bad right now in MIAA play. So if things don't happen to go our way on Tuesday, hopefully we'll finally get that losing taste out of our mouth by the weekend and hopefully get things going back in the right direction going into next week. So.
Men's golf finished third at the Blue Tiger Invitational, and then they'll wrap up the fall season this week. Yeah,
men's golf obviously closing out the fall this week down in Oklahoma, so hopefully the weather behaves. The weather's been kind of all over the place. I know I got a message from their sports information director down there that we have potential weather issues, so we'll see if they can get that entire tournament in. But yeah, the men's golf wrapping up the fall season this week, and there's been a lot of good things that I've seen out of them this fall, but they've got some things to work on, obviously, to hopefully improve their standings in conference play as they play more conference tournaments in the spring. And hopefully we'll see some things where maybe even an individual for us can compete for getting into the regional picture at the end of the season. So we'll see how things go for men's golf going forward.
Well, that concludes athletics for this week. Thanks for joining me, Ryan.
Yeah, no problem.
Tune in next week for another episode of This Week in Tiger Athletics. To stay up to date on the latest news and information throughout the week, visit tigermedianet.com.